Did you ever think that as a real estate investor, you would ever see any city of any kind in the US with a 39% rent increase in 1 year? But stunning to see these numbers. These are fantasy numbers that could not exist in a pre-COVID world. All right, the last one, number 10. I kept this one for the last because I think it's the most predictive of them all. And it's like, that's Oprah, by the way. All of you have heard that inflation in the US is skyrocketing, right? So last month it was at about 6%. Usually it's under 100, under 1.5%, 1.5 to 6. That's crazy. We looked deeper into this and we found that the biggest cause of inflation was actually coming from real estate construction. And while there are many other causes, the biggest one is that any material used to make buildings and homes has gone through the roof, right? So initially we blamed shutdowns in lumber mills, but then we realized that Canadian and American lumber mills have now been running at full capacity for months. So we start looking at construction statistics and we found, firstly, more homes being built in the US than at any time in the last decade. Demand is astonishingly high. And we also found that people all over the world, not just America, have decided they need to rehab their homes. They need to add workspaces and rooms. But as you can imagine, that led to an insane increase in construction costs. Look at lumber prices. Oh my God. Concrete, copper, everything has just gone bananas. Everything, right? Before the pandemic, lumber prices are around $350, actually more like $280 for 1,000 board feet. Today, they're around $610, right? So that's about quite a bit higher. So briefly went up, by the way, to $1,600, and you see that peak there on the screen, but that was a short-term panic. So at even the reduced prices today, lumber costs 1.5 times what it cost before the pandemic, almost 2x. And we think that this means that homes all over the world, not just the US, will cost more to build for a decade or more. That's our aha moment. We think that this means that homes all over the world will cost more to build for a decade or more. The rich want bigger homes. They want newer homes with health benefits. They want better views. And so upscale homes are going up in value the most. The middle class wants backyards, workspaces, exercise space. So demand is up there. The lower middle class wants apartments with more rooms. Everyone wants more, more, more. And the Fed is providing fuel with these crazy low interest rates. Okay, Neal, I get it. There'll be a sustained increase in the prices of new construction homes. But I'm not a builder, Neal. How do I make money from this? Well, there's a number of ways that you will benefit. Firstly, if construction costs go up, then about 6 months later, rents for existing homes and apartments go up much faster than the norm. In fact, we are seeing that now. In May and June, the last 2 months, US rents increased at the fastest pace in history. In history, both months back to back were over 2% rent growth in a month. These are the kind of rent increases that we typically see in a year or in 6 months. The message for all of you is extremely straightforward. COVID reset the single family market in the world. And in the coming year, the rental market is going to reset at a completely different level. Any kind of rental investment opportunity will do really well. And if you don't believe me, please take a look at the graph on the screen. Did you ever think that as a real estate investor, you would ever see any city of any kind in the US with a 39% rent increase in 1 year? 39, right? Has anyone seen 20? Has anyone seen 15? Has anyone, maybe you've seen 15. There have been cases where cities have gone up 15% in a year. But look at that, 39%. And we want to point out that it's not an isolated case with Boise. There's 10 metros here, all at 18% or higher rent increases. Note that 4 of them are in Phoenix, where we're building our apartment complex, 4 out of 10, right? But stunning to see these numbers. These are fantasy numbers that could not exist in a pre-COVID world. There was no possibility of that. So if, bottom line is, we do not believe that real estate is in a bubble because 7 billion people think differently today about where they live, and that can't change in a short amount of time. And if you do think that real estate is too expensive, We suggest you invest in lumber ETFs. Maybe you believe the part about the construction costs being high. Well, buy lumber ETFs on the stock market. You can also invest in stocks of home builders. In fact, we're going to suggest some: Lennar, KB Homes, Pulte Homes, DR Horton. Read what's happening to their profits. They're all going insane. And I don't think that the stock market is giving them enough credit. I still think that these stocks have a lot of room for growth. So all four of these are big beneficiaries of the trend towards larger, roomier homes and Americans loving their homes more.